balancing relationships with life, purpose, value, sticking to who you really are throughout a relationship. I don't really know who you are because there wasn't really a name attached to your account, but it was wise words or something like that asked me to talk about how to balance relationships, how to balance your values, stick to your values within a relationship. I wanted to start off by reading something from my favorite book of all time, it's The Alchemist. So here's what it says. You must understand that love never keeps a man from pursuing his personal legend. If he abandons that pursuit, it's because it wasn't true love, the love that speaks the language of the world. When I read that, I had to understand and realize that real love isn't going to stop you from doing the things that you need to do. Real love isn't going to change the person that you are. People in relationships I often see, especially near the start of it, people call it the honeymoon phase. I don't believe in the honeymoon phase where you don't see flaws in a person, where you're with a person 24/7, you reject your friends, you neglect all these different things, your responsibilities, your purpose, your health, you neglect all these things in your life because of this new person in your life, the honeymoon phase. But I don't believe that the honeymoon phase exists. I believe that it's just infatuation. It's infatuation with a person. It's infatuation with a person that is new, and things that are new you get excited about. You get excited about all these different things about a person because you don't see their flaws. You may see them, but you choose to ignore them because you don't think that this person is long-term. You don't think this person is long-term, so you don't bring things up with your partner. A big thing that I see people don't do in relationships is setting boundaries early. Setting those boundaries early will help you stay on your purpose, will help you stick to your values, and will help you manage your time so much better. Because at the start, during that honeymoon phase, you don't set any boundaries. You stay up late, talk on the phone with them, have those late night conversations, whatever it is. You neglect all these different things in your life, your responsibilities, your purpose, your health, because of a person. You neglect all these different things because you're so infatuated with this new person. Maybe it's because you think that you love them so much, or you've never had this connection before with a person. But balancing your life, your relationship, is a hard thing to do. Sticking true to your values and not letting another person kind of persuade you and letting them push their values onto you is a hard thing to do. So setting boundaries early, knowing who you are going into relationships. I feel like a lot of people, if you are lost and you go into a relationship, the other person can just mold you and paint you into the person that they want you to be. That pottery, so pottery has to be like warm and it's very malleable. You can transform it and do anything you want to it. But I feel like if you want to get into a relationship, you have to be a piece of pottery that's already finished, a piece of pottery that's been through the oven, been solidified, and you know who you are, you know the values that you have, and you can't really be changed and molded too much into what the other person wants you to be. I feel like a lot of the time people will see their partner and will mold them into the perfect person, the perfect partner that they always imagine themselves to be with. They want a partner who goes to the gym. They want a partner who has the same religion, same beliefs, value system as them, and they see that you're lost. They see that you're still a little bit malleable. They see that you don't know who you are as a person, and they try to make you into the person that they want you to become, that person that they always thought that they would be with. So before you even get into a relationship, you have to ask yourself, what do I value? What are the things that I value? Who am I as a person? And if you're like, yeah, I know what I value, I'm solidified, I know who I am as a person, then you can get into a healthy relationship. I see it a lot of the time, people get into relationships but not healthy relationships because they don't know who they are. They don't love themselves as a person. Self-love is a big thing in having healthy relationships. Self-love and setting boundaries for yourself, because yeah, I know how it feels to want to see that person every single day, want to spend 24 hours of the day with them. But if that person makes you go off course, if they make you lose sight of the vision, your personal legend, then I don't think that you should be with them. They make you lose sight of your purpose that you maybe wanted to go pursue that medical degree. You wanted to go to med school, but then somebody came into your life and now you're like, I actually don't want to be a doctor anymore. I don't want to go into med school, because subconsciously you're like, yeah, that's going to be so much time and I need to spend time with my partner. I need to think about my family life. I need to think about all these different things. So now I change my purpose. I change who I am within. But understanding that if it was real love won't make you throw away your personal legend. It won't make you throw away your purpose and the thing that you're meant to do. Real love isn't going to throw you off course. Yeah, you may get distracted. You may want to see that person a lot, but you need to set those boundaries. Boundaries, I feel, is a big, important thing in having a healthy relationship. Sticking to your purpose, sticking to your values, because a lot of the time people will overstep, but they don't know they're overstepping because those lines weren't drawn in the first place. Those lines weren't drawn early on. So if you're thinking about getting into a relationship, you have to set those boundaries. You have to tell this person that you are one of my priorities, but not my main priority. Understanding that it's your life. Your relationship isn't your life. You have your own life, and then your relationship, that person, is in addition to your life, not the center of your life. You can't idolize that person. You can't idolize your relationship. Setting them to the side, having them as an addition to your life, not them being your life. I feel like a lot of the time people will be so codependent. I see a lot of codependent relationships now where anything happens, they need to call their partner. They need to text their partner. They don't let their partner go out, see their friends. They don't let them do all these different things because they're codependent. Yeah, you can have a relationship with a person. Anybody can have a relationship with a person, but are you ready for a healthy relationship? Setting those boundaries within your relationship, within yourself. And I know a lot of people will already be in relationships that maybe those boundaries have never been set. You need to talk to the person, and I know it's not going to be easy because you're so used to seeing this person for 5-6 days of the week, and when you tell them, hey, I think we can only see each other 2-3 times a week now, they're gonna be like, what? Do you not love me? They're gonna think something's wrong. They're gonna think that maybe you're seeing somebody else, but you need to focus on yourself. You have to focus on your goals and your dreams, your purpose. Understanding that if it was real love, yeah, that person could have doubts. Yeah, that person, it's natural for them to be like, what's going on? Because it's something different. It's a new change, but you have to talk to them. You just have to communicate and help them understand why you're doing the things that you're doing. And after a while of talking and building that trust with them, that all you're doing is shifting and focusing more on yourself, then you'll see yourself pursuing your purpose again. Because a lot of the time we lose sight of our purpose because of relationships. We didn't set those boundaries early, and it's going to be so different, so new to us for the people who are in relationships. We don't know how it is not to talk to them 24/7. We don't know how it is not to be with them all the time. And when we have our separate lives outside of them, it's new, it's different, but it's what you need to do in order to stay grounded in the person that you are, the values that you have. You need to have a life outside of them. You need to separate your life and the life that you have with that person. A lot of the time we think that it's our life, your relationship, that's your life, but it's not your life. And a big thing that I think is happiness. A lot of people, they don't feel happy anymore in their relationships, and I feel like that's because of the purpose thing. They don't pursue their purpose, and if you don't pursue your purpose, then what good are you to yourself? What good are you to the rest of the world? Because you're not doing the things that you love to do. Yeah, you love this person, but you don't shine brighter. You don't share things with other people. You don't share your gifts that God gave you with other people because you're too busy loving this person. So understanding that if you're unhappy in a relationship, it might be because you're not pursuing your purpose. You're not happy because you aren't pursuing your personal legend. You're not taking care of yourself, so how do you expect to take care of your relationship? You're not taking care of you and the responsibilities that you have. You have all these things, all these desires, all this yearn to do things with your life, but you're too busy spending time with your partner. You're too busy trying to please your partner. So understanding that if you're not happy in your relationship and you love the person and you're like, I'll love them, but I don't know why I'm unhappy. I don't know why I'm unhappy. It's maybe because you don't have a life outside of them. You're not pursuing anything other than them. You have to pursue a passion. You have to pursue your personal legend, your purpose. And real, genuine love will wait. If it's real love, it will wait. A personal legend, the thing that you're meant to do, is never going to make you wait. You're never going to lose it. You must understand that love never keeps a man from pursuing his personal legend. And it's not just men who have this personal legend. If you're a woman who isn't happy in their relationship, it's not just for a man, but it's if he abandons that pursuit, it's because it wasn't true love. So if you leave the purpose, if you had this vision for yourself for this longest time, you're pursuing a business, you're pursuing that medical degree that I was talking about, and then now that this relationship, this person comes into your life, you abandon your dream, was it real love? Then it's not real love. So don't abandon your dream. Don't abandon your personal legend. And yeah, people will say, I don't know what my dream is. I don't know what my purpose is. Then you need to do some self-reflection. I feel like a lot of the time is noise. It's distractions. You have all these different people talking in your ear. You have your parents, your partner, your friends, social media, all these different things talking to you and telling you who you need to be. But taking time away from those distractions, taking time away from all these different things that are trying to tell you who you need to be. But you need to be who you are and the person that you are meant to be, not the person that they need you to be, not the person you're supposed to be, but the person that you are. So if you're unhappy, if you don't know how to really balance a relationship, it's boundaries. Setting those boundaries and setting your eyes and keeping your eyes on the purpose. I think those two main things are what helps you have that balanced life. Setting those boundaries, telling a person, yeah, you're not my number one priority. My number one priority is me. Yeah, you are an important part of my life, but I can't prioritize you over every single thing in my life. And if a person can't understand that, then they're not ready for a healthy relationship. If a person can't understand that you are not my number one priority, if they can't get that through their head, then they can't have a healthy relationship. I don't care what that person says. If you can't understand that your partner's number one priority is themselves and their purpose, then you're not ready. You're not ready for a healthy relationship. And that's gonna be a thing that a lot of people don't agree with. A lot of people can't accept. But those people aren't in healthy relationships. So balancing relationships, life, purpose, sticking to your values. It all starts with boundaries and purpose. Sticking to your purpose, setting those boundaries early, setting those boundaries now. Balancing life, sticking true to your values, pursuing your purpose.